the answers, I change the question.
Rep through rep.
Yeah.
Woo! Who are you to doubt El Dandy? Because this guy's a serious professional.
Can he do it? Unbelievable.
Too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King and Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. I said WWE stands for. It's me, Austin. I will never retire.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Doesn't matter what video platform you go to, you can find us everywhere, whether it's Odyssey, Vimeo, Daily Motion, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Check us out, Rumble, we're on all of them. Please check us out and subscribe wherever you get your video podcasting listening in. People, are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available exclusively through Facebook. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now to all Facebook users, totally free. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, want your name in the shout-outs, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. Don't forget we have loyalty rewards. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you can co-host a show with myself. If you are a $7.50 a month contributor, enter into a drawing to also co-host an episode with me. And for my number one Patreon out there, John in Texas, we have some Patreon exclusive content coming very soon to the Patreon channel. John and I sit down. We're going to be doing a 4-part series that we're going to be putting up there just for the members. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, something you want us to touch on in the future episode, give us a shout. Drop us a line. Call us at the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160, and we will get to those questions, comments, and concerns in a future episode. Tonight's show, jam-packed. We have got all kinds of stuff to get into. I could talk all night, but obviously I don't want to tie up your whole evening. Let's get started with, we're going to start with Rich Swann. Rich Swann, former superstar in WWE and TNA wrestling, made his big debut a few days ago at a TV taping for the NWA. He ended up appearing there, and it sounds like this is not a one-off. He is now scheduled to have multiple appearances for the promotion. PW Insider is the first one to break the report, and he will be at NWA 77 next month, which has become an annual tradition, a huge show for them. Great to see Swann getting into another promotion. He's kind of done his thing a little bit everywhere and a little bit anywhere. And right now, the NWA is a company that I think could really benefit from having just an injection of some bigger names that have been places that people have seen in prime situations, like WWE, like TNA. I think Rich Swann will do very well for the company. An update to Orange Cassidy's current condition. It was reported this week that he, back on, I believe it was March 19th, he had a 4-way match. I forget who all was in the match. Speedball Mike Bailey, Ricochet. There was somebody else in the match also. I apologize. I'm drawing a blank. But during the match, he got injured. He's been out ever since. It turns out that they believed it is a torn pectoral muscle. And the word coming out is he is out. I believe it was Fightful Select reported that he is out for the foreseeable future. He is out for good, not coming back anytime soon. He's cleared to do non-wrestling related stuff for the company, but certainly not going to be in the ring for quite a long time. Somebody else not going to be in the ring, and I know that we don't cover as much about this company as we probably should. No disrespect to the company. I apologize, my schedule is just crazy. But MLW, one of their big stars, Tom Lawler, is dealing with an injury as well, and his is sounding like a much more serious injury. He had a quote where he spoke about the extent of his injuries, and he said, quote, "The L5-S1 vertebrae in my back down to at the bottom I have herniated discs. There's no disc there anymore, and the spinal column, that portion is out of place and is pinching a nerve in my back, and that's why I've lost a lot of feeling in my left leg. Some size was atrophied, and I really have a hard time walking. I don't know how long I'm going to be on the shelf. I don't know if I'll ever wrestle again. And this, for me, for those who don't know anything about Tom Lawler, the guy has done it all. He's been in UFC. He's been a pro wrestler the last several years. He's incredibly talented. Never has been in a WWE ring or an AEW ring, but he has done so much. MLW, Jersey Championship Wrestling, GCW, New Japan Strong. Those four just this year, the guy is incredible. And F4W is the one that I was looking at earlier that broke the story that it sounds like there's a possibility his career may be coming to an end due to injury. So we wish him well and hopefully a speedy recovery, but definitely some scary stuff. Over the weekend, a big show for MLW. We'll stick with the MLW conversation. They had like this unified show bringing in talent from New Japan and CMLL. And at the show, there was a shock appearance by a gentleman who used to wrestle for MLW, but all of you know him as a mega star for AEW right now, and that is MJF. Appearing on the June 26th show at the Melrose Ballroom, he attacked Mystico, who was there wrestling under the CMLL banner. And the word going around is that this is not a once-and-done appearance for the MLW company. Shocking to me that a company like MLW, that I understand they're not on the level of WWE and AEW, or maybe even TNA, but I don't think they're far from TNA, and certainly not far from TNA in terms of the quality of the product, that they would be in such a working relationship with AEW. But then again, when you look what WWE's doing, whether it's AAA, TNA, Pro Wrestling Noah, and WWE, and obviously they're looking to expand even more. They're working with so many people. It almost looks like AEW, MLW, New Japan, CMLL, they're all getting the message and starting to plan together to try to, I don't want to say counter program, but at least offer an alternative to anything and everything WWE's doing. And I think this is great for business. It's great for the talent. But if you don't know anything about MJF's distant past, MLW is where he really cut his teeth. He's a former megastar for MLW, and it's really exciting to see him go back and contribute in a big way. MLW, that is not the only, oddly, I don't remember the last time we put an MLW this much emphasis on their product, but at the same show, a huge championship change, new tag team champions crown, and many of you will be familiar with the people who won. They're now going by the tag team name, the Skyscrapers, and that would be made up of Donovan Dijak, who used to be WWE Superstar, as well as another former WWE star, Bishop Dyer, used to be Baron Corbin. The two of them are the new tag team champions in MLW. It's a shock for me. It's not something I ever saw happening. There was a great show over the weekend called Summer of the Beasts, and it was a stacked card. Matt Riddle defeated Kenta to retain his world championship. Like I said earlier, Dijak and Dyer, they defeated Magnus and Rugido to win the MLW Tag Team Championship. Ultimo Guerrero beat Alex Hammerstone and Matthew Justice to retain his National Openweight Championship. Brock Anderson was there over Anthony Green. Kushida was there over Diego Hill. So it was a great card top to bottom. But seeing Bishop Dyer and Donovan Dijak pick up the Tag Team Championship, very exciting stuff. Let's see, other stuff, some signings. Ian Riccoboni, who is as known as being, in my opinion, one of the best and most underappreciated commentators in wrestling, signing a brand new contract with AEW / Ring of Honor, but apparently has signed a brand new multi-year deal with them. He loves doing this. This is what he made it clear he'll be Ring of Honor full-time and AEW whenever the moment calls. But he's been working with Ring of Honor matches off and on occasionally since 2015, and now he has been shored up for the foreseeable future as one of the premier voices for Ring of Honor. Guys, let's jump over to some WWE stuff right now. We have conversation about the WWE relationship with Saudi Arabia coming out of the Night of Champions pay-per-view. And for some people who were concerned that maybe the relationship was, hitting the top of the hill and starting to go down, not so much. Next year, the word is there is now going to be 3 PLEs in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. One of them we already know is going to be the Royal Rumble. That'll be there next January, which is shocking in a way, but also, if you're trying to further that relationship, more power to them. But there are going to be 2 other PLEs, one in May of 26 and one in November of 26. Word is the November one could be the Survivor Series. and the May one could be a Saudi version of WrestleMania. We talked a little bit about that in a previous episode. That's kind of crazy, but when you're getting the kind of money you are from the Saudi government to go there, you can't blame WWE for going there. They are a business first. They're about profitability, and they have stockholders to appease, and this is going to be a great way for them to further that relationship and really bring in big cash. I still think it's kind of hokey to have like a Saudi Arabian version of WrestleMania, kind of like that Greatest Royal Rumble thing was a train wreck, but if you're going to do it, you at least get paid to do it, and it sounds like you're going to get paid handsomely. The TNA Slammiversary show coming up very soon. The main event of the show has been advertised as a World Championship match between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry, a rematch. Trick having won the title from Joe Hendry at a previous show. This is always a huge show for them, and now the match is going to be a triple threat as Mike Santana has been added, and I think a part of this is WWE really being impressed with both Hendry and Santana, and really, if you think about it, not having a ton to do with Trick Williams right now on WWE's NXT roster with Obafemi taking up the top spot, or having to rush him to the main roster, since right now that's pretty well stacked. So this is a great spot for Trick Williams to be in. It's great for WWE to keep their eyes on Joe Hendry and Mike Santana, who apparently they have interest in both of those talents. Looking forward to seeing this main event. Absolutely. It's going to be a great match. Can't wait to see how they pull these things together. WWE also, when you talk about, I spoke earlier about signings and whatnot, there are a few superstars in AEW that are clearly now, the word is, on WWE's radar. Bodyslam.net was reporting that they have significant interest in Danhausen, who has not been on AEW television as of late. He's been in GCW and other places, no AEW appearances, and Private Party. Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, they're going to be coming up. Their contracts are up very, very soon. We know that at the end of the year, Chris Jericho's contract comes up, Renee Paquette's contract comes up, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker are coming up in August. There are all these contracts coming due, and WWE is very much interested in many of them. Even Jon Moxley, look, he's signed through 2027, but if you think about the response people are giving to Moxley right now, you got to wonder. He's the highest paid wrestler in the company. We already know Mercedes Moné is a $5 million a year girl, so imagine how much Moxley's getting paid. If he's not bringing in the return, would it not behoove Tony Khan to think about shedding some cost and reinvesting that money, reallocating it to other talent elsewhere to shore up his roster? Perhaps. That obviously won't happen until 2027, but in the nearer future, all of these guys, the only ones that kind of surprised me is Private Party. They always have felt to me like Street Profits Part 2. But if WWE is interested, more power to them. It would be, all of them would be great gets for the company. They need to shore up their tag team division anyways, so I have to wait and see how that all plays out. Evolution 2 coming up very soon. That whole weekend is going to be WWE counter programming all in Texas, and it was reported this week. We know that there was several matches created this week. I guess WWE finally realized, oh wait a minute, we got a PLE to book, and they started putting matches together, and they announced a battle royal. Well, the betting odds, the preliminary odds are out there, and Stephanie Vaquer is the favorite to win the Women's Battle Royal at Evolution 2, which will then go on to have a World Championship match at Clash in Paris. We have to wonder who the champion will be at that point. As we saw on Raw, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are going to do battle to see who's going to be the women's champion coming out, and I suspect that Vaquer will go against the winner of that match, because as we also know, there's a whole thing going on SmackDown where, and here comes the spoiler. If you don't want spoilers, you're going to have to skip a few seconds, because SmackDown was already recorded for this week, and there's two big things coming out of SmackDown, one related to Evolution 2. Here we go. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1. Here's your spoiler. Trish Stratus will be challenging Tiffany Stratton for the SmackDown Women's Championship, or the WWE Women's Championship. And when you look at that and see how that whole program works, you can tell that this is going to lead to probably Tiffy retaining, going to SummerSlam against Jade winning, and then Naomi cashing in. So there's not a lot of room for, the Raw Women's Championship, where now you could have Rhea, you could have Io. It doesn't really matter. The winner is going to get an opportunity at Clash in Paris to take on what it sounds like is going to be Stephanie Vaquer. Not a lot of names announced for the Battle Royal yet, but when you don't see people already with a match listed for the card, you can start to make some assumptions. If you look at the poster for the pay-per-view, it's very interesting. There's some omissions that are even more peculiar. But It's definitely somebody who's been building a huge following and somebody that WWE knows they can put into a premium match and who can really, really, really deliver. Gotta go back to AEW for a second. Britt Baker putting out a tweet, her exact tweet. I'll read that to you. It says, "A bottle of water can be $1 at the supermarket, $3 at the gym, $5 at the movies, $6 on a plane. Same water. The only thing that's changed is its value. In its value was the place. So next time you feel your worth is nothing, maybe you're at the wrong place." A lot of people looking at that tweet, likening it to AEW, that she feels underappreciated. Maybe their word is she wants out of her contract. That AEW is not willing to do that. Her tweet, there was a follow up. Queen Aminata posted a picture of a $6.50 bottle of water. Now, you could take this any way you'd like. Maybe she's implying that she feels like she is valued by AEW, or she's supporting Britt Baker in her perspective. I've seen websites take both sides of it. Whatever it is, Britt Baker is good enough that she belongs on television somewhere, no matter what the personality conflicts are in the back. Make it happen. People have been waiting long enough. She's an incredible talent. She used to be one of your pillars, and now she hasn't been on TV in the last 8-9 months. It's absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully she gets an opportunity somewhere, but her contract runs for several years still. AEW sounds like they don't want to let her go. Certainly not until after all the Pittsburgh stuff is gone and Evolution 2 is over. They don't want her showing up on a WWE PLE, a women's only PLE, and getting that much more momentum. So maybe after that, maybe they'll let her go. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely something to monitor. Darby Allin, also his return to AEW. The quote that I saw is that it is imminent. The word is he is ready to come back. That he has, he finished his Mount Everest. He got himself back into normal shape. And what I would suspect here is we probably need to keep our eyes on All In Texas. I suspect that Hangman Page will not win the championship from Jon Moxley, because I believe we are holding that spot for Darby Allin to come in and take the championship from Jon Moxley. Long overdue. Look, I like Mox. I do. I think he's incredible. And he has really carried that company a lot the last several years since its inception. But this particular incarnation of him is not working to maximum capacity. We need to hit the reset button on Mox, get him a different personality of sorts, bring him back, and maybe he can run it back. But right now, we need to get that belt off of him. We need to be seeing it on TV every week or so, and we haven't while he's been champion. The storyline was interesting at the beginning, but it's ran too long, so it's time to move on. Brock Lesnar in the news. He was spotted looking absolutely jacked out of his mind. There was a post made on Instagram on Brock Lesnar World, which is one of the Instagram photo sites, and it's him with a guy in a gym. He's like twice as big as this dude. He looks absolutely jacked. He looks like if he shaved off his beard and everything, he'd look just as young as he did 15 years ago, ready to go. I don't know how long it'll be if we ever see him in a ring again. He had mentioned that he thought he was retired, but he clearly is still in great shape to go anytime. But it's interesting whenever you see him pop up. Ruby Soho in the news. She has begun training once again, resuming her training since having her child. She had, last year in the spring is the last time we saw her wrestle. I believe it was spring 24. She and Angelo Parker are a couple, and they announced that they were expecting a child. Well, she had her baby girl, and now she is getting back at it and should hopefully be returning to the ring soon. So congrats to her. And then when you we're going to change up gears again. I apologize. I've got some comments from people that were sent in that I didn't get to address yet from earlier in the week news. That would be my response to CM Punk's apology in Saudi Arabia for the blood money comments that he had. Word is WWE may have planted the person. For those who don't know, there was a fan in attendance during the kickoff show portion of the Saudi Arabia Night of Champions event. And he referenced how this person wanted him to apologize for a tweet from like 6 years ago. And he ended up apologizing to the fans specifically, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and all that, and blamed it on being grumpy in the morning, waking up grumpy or something like that. And it had nothing to do with Saudi Arabia, which anybody who reads the tweet, it's very obvious that it did. I have no problem with him apologizing, but don't lie to people. Don't say, oh, it has nothing to do with Saudi Arabia. The only way that works is if you're turning heel, which I'm not opposed to Punk turning heel. But it came off as very disingenuous for a guy who's supposed to like signify like anti-establishment and everything else. For him to come out and just throw out this like what almost seemed like a half-hearted apology, almost a scripted apology, and then get the huge endorsement from Triple H. Just didn't feel real authentic to me. And it's either that or it's Punk completely doing an about-face and a 180 on a lot of his politicized perspective. Now, I'm not here to judge his politics, but this is a guy who, from that tweet, seemed like he was not in favor of the regime and their human rights abuses. This is a guy who supports the LGBTQ community. Wore a shirt to Dynamite at one point for that. Can you imagine him apologizing to a country that still allows LGBTQ individuals to go to jail or be put to death for that, and then you're going to go and apologize to that country? It feels very, very scripted and forced. Maybe TKO has all this money on the line because of their big deals, and maybe they asked them to do it. Maybe it was a plant. There's words out there it could have been a plant. Don't know. I know some people are very upset. I heard Busted Open people reacting to this, and Wrestle Talk News, and everybody seems to be very frustrated with it. That it takes away from Punk. It can. I think that's up to the fan. If the fan wants it to take away from Punk, it'll take away from Punk. I think the fans need to look at it as an angle. That's the way I'm going to look at it. It's an angle he's playing to, at some point, turn heel. He can always reference back to it, but how else do you explain, I'll never go to that country? He did. It wasn't just the tweet. He had a interview at one point a couple years back saying how he could add up all the money for the different shows and he wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia. He's just not doing it now. He did for SmackDown and for the Night of Champions show. So either he changes values quite a bit, has a different perspective, which if he has a different perspective, that's fine. Look, I'll actually defend this. If you pay attention to the original Saudi Arabia shows where the women would wrestle and they were wearing t-shirts, and now you have what you just had where you had Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, and they're all in there in like skin-tight black leather. You know, they've come a long way. So if his perspective has changed because he sees that it is opening opportunities for women, say that. You gotta include that. It gives them a compliment and it justifies why you're changing your perspective on the country. But to just throw it out there, not a great idea. Let's see, what else we got today? I got so many tabs here to talk about. Zack Sabre Jr. over the weekend regaining the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship from Hiroki Goto at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Tanahashi Jam. It was a show that you could not get access to here in the United States on New Japan World or anything like that. This was a very closed thing, which is shocking. You would change the World Championship at a show that almost nobody could see. In Japan, you could see it, but nowhere else in the world could you see it. But congratulations to Zack Sabre Jr. because Gaijin or people from outside of Japan don't often get pushed as hard as he is. To be a two-time IWGP champion is a very big deal in Japan. So that it just tells you how much respect they have for him as a talent. He is, too, an incredible talent guy who, look, he pulls no punches. He's not even interested in coming to WWE anytime soon. I hope he's loving his run over there, and this just goes to show how much New Japan Pro Wrestling trusts him as the main guy in this Tanahashi run era of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Congrats to Zack Sabre Jr. Chris Jericho's schedule, it could change very soon. A potential return to AEW. He had a list of dates that he was out touring with Fozzy. Those have all wrapped up. The word is he's cleared, ready to go, just sitting at home waiting for Tony Khan to call him and tell him what they have in store for him in terms of a creative plan. And Tony better do something because the guy's contract's up at the end of the year. And if you're not going to give him something worthwhile to do, why stick around? You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns in the news. Congratulations to Roman Reigns and his wife. They gave birth to their 6th child while he's been away from WWE. It's a beautiful thing. Maybe a part of the reason why he's taken off so much time. I know people were wondering why he would show up after Mania and attack Seth and whatnot at the steel cage match and all this and then have no follow-up. Well, because he's at home taking care of a wife who was expecting a child. So congratulations to the family and to the wife, and hopefully everybody's happy and healthy and ready to go. Last thing for this episode, tonight, 300th episode of Dynamite, the July 2nd episode. The card is stacked. Bandito, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong versus Konosuke Takeshita and the Young Bucks. Of course, I think Takeshita and the Bucks are going to win that. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay are going to take on the Beast Mortos and Dralistico. Obviously, Swerve and Will Ospreay are going to win that. Brody King, MJF, Anthony Bowens, and AR Fox are going to be competing for number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet at All In. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I personally would love to see Brody King win this. I think he is a singles megastar waiting to happen, but I do suspect MJF walks out with that and gets that opportunity at All In. Mercedes Moné will be competing in the 1,000th match on AEW Dynamite for the TBS Championship, going against Mina Shirakawa. She defends against Marina Shirakawa. Should be a great match. I obviously expect her to retain ahead of going into her match with Toni Storm, unless Toni Storm gets involved to pull that belt off of her, so that it's easier to explain why she could win the AEW Women's Championship. And the main event tonight, Kota Ibushi having a huge match with Kazuchika Okada, and that is going to be the headliner tonight. It's going to be exciting to see these two. They've got a long history with one another, going all the way back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's going to be something I can't wait to see. It should be a fantastic match. And when you think about it, these guys, they have always been poetry in motion. They have such a great cadence to their matches. It's been a great thing to see over the years. If you've never seen them compete with each other before, go back, find it on YouTube, find it on New Japan World. This is going to be a fantastic match. Can't wait to see it. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. We run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks as always out to Suno AI for creating the sound that I use in my show. Today's show sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college, university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you so much for taking some time with us tonight. Until next time, take care. Have a good one, everybody.